Okay, for the people on this, she can just stay there. Yeah, she can just stay there. For whoever like Atlantis and Helen, if I already check your story, then that's good. You can just stay here and then listen to other people's story, and then the upline gonna give feedback for them. Yeah, it's okay.
Wait, is it like one person go up and then we interact, or like just they just say their
No, that's okay. That's true. Okay, so we just check the Masawa. Everyone have maximum 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Whoa!
Maximum 2 minutes. Yeah, first trip, but then if you want, then you can ask for another time. Come here without a trip, put more emotion in your face. Let's just admit that you are DTM with someone in front. Okay. Yeah, Jack, you want to sit in front, so it's facing your feedback. Okay, so Shreya's first. I didn't go.
No, that's not how you pronounce it.
I'm sorry.
Oh. Sorry, off my face backwards. Okay.
So I'm just gonna be sharing some sound stuff.
Okay,
All
go.
right. Okay. So this is after I do a little bit of deepening. I asked them about like what's your 5 to 10 year plan, and they're like, oh, I haven't thought about it. Oh, that's me too. I don't know if you guys saw the DTM video, but like it was like crazy reaction. I've never seen that. Like, oh, me too, guys.
Wow.
That's so funny because I actually thought the same thing as you just a year ago.
Wow.
Oh my god. Let me tell you what I realized that changed my thinking. I knew my uncle, for a long time, he worked at Google. He was so proud that he was working there and he continued to rise through the positions over the years. He had the pride as a Google employee, but complained about how difficult it was to manage his time because of how much work he had to complete as an employee. Suddenly, I just got in contact. I just got in contact with him a month ago, and he got laid off from Google.
Wow.
He worked for 15 years at the company, and they treated him like dirt.
Hey.
Imagine spending 15 years, almost like 1/3 of your life. No, that's not 1/3.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Like 2 decades of your life. Had that company, but they just lay you off by email, as if that you never really they never really cared about you.
It was a lot better.
And so I was someone who was around the wrong crowd and not really thinking much about my future. And so I just took life day to day without thinking much about my financial freedom, let alone, the next week. And so, but, when I met my mentor, I saw that he had 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday.
Wow.
Everyone around me was so busy making a living that that's why I listen to my spot. And everyone was so they forgot to make a life. Mix of these realizations about the 9 to 5, I was searching for a vehicle to create a second source of income for myself. And I met my mentor through a mutual friend who I quickly realized had the life that I wanted to live in the future. He left his job before I even graduated from college, and he didn't even have to wake up to an alarm clock again for the rest of his life. He graciously accepted me to be under his mentorship, and he had been helping me develop the right mindset to make better decisions about how I spend my time as well as in business. Now I am currently planning to continue building an asset for the next 2 to 5 years and will eventually become financially independent with his help. Have you ever thought about business before?
Whoa.
Any feedback? I'm open for everyone.
Wait. We said we'll share once, but everyone share.
No, but then everyone's gonna forget. So
I have a question. Oh, I used to have a question.
Yes.
You GTM me. Why was it so much better?
What the?
Because I'm reading off a script before, like it's from the heart,
It was in the heart. It was
That's
so
why.
much
That's
better.
why.
So that was not good.
No, because I'm reading from the script.
It
That's
was from the heart. I'll be up there with you. Pretend like, you know?
Oh, should I just do it with the heart?
Pretend like you just missed it.
Yeah, just
Okay. All right. So when I see like person's lost, I'll be like, hey, I was just like you. I was just like that just a year ago. Before I actually started my business, I was that person who I really listened to whatever people told me. So I was just so lost that my parents told me I should be a doctor. My friends told me I should be an engineer. My uncle told me that I should be a pediatrician, surgeon. And I was like, man, I don't even know what I want to do. And so that's why I just listened to my parents. And I've been being pre-med for 1 year. But, later down the line when I was volunteering in a hospital, I realized, what I was getting myself into. Oh man, when I saw those doctors, I saw them, they come in on Thanksgiving. They come in on New Year's. They come in on Christmas. And man, and I was realizing, man, aren't you supposed to be with your family on those holidays? But why are they coming in? And I asked one of the doctors, he's like, the people that get drunk are actually the most drunk are actually on the holidays. So that's why I have to work on those holidays because that's when the most patients come in the hospital. Man, I felt like, man, I don't even have control over my own life because the patients, the people who are getting drunk, dictate when I go to work. And that's when I first realized, man, like I need to get some sort of income. And that's when I actually met my mentor for the first time. Connected through a mutual friend. And man, when I saw him for the first time, I was in awe. Like this guy, he created a source of passive income for himself while in college. Well, I'm in college, but I'm just studying. I'm not even spending my time, and I'll just watch anime for 3 hours a day. And so this guy, he hustled. He used his time correctly, and he was able to create an asset which paid him off for the rest of his life. But what was I doing? And so I immediately asked him these 3 questions. It's what do you do? Can I do that? And can you teach me? And that was actually from Miko's MG1.
Wow.
Cut, yeah. And graciously accepted me under his mentorship. And now I'm actually on the way of becoming financially independent in the next 3 to 5 years due to his help.
okay. So 2 point in here. This Masawa is better than the one you just read in your phone. Okay, it's more real. So yeah, wait. The woman, we need you to speak in English. Yeah, hello. Your mouth here. Okay, so 2 point in here is first when you're talking about the ugly effect as a hospital, but you not conclusions why you need financial freedom, but you already jump in to promote the mentor that you met. So here's the thing, guys. This is one tip, okay? Whenever you share on your Masawa anything that about ugly fact, what you realize, you have to have the conclusion for that why you need to looking for another better thing in life before you promote this opportunity or mentor. Because if you jump in too fast, then they don't know that is it relate to them or not. Say, and second things is when you only mention about your major only, I want you to add in something that can relate to every major, everyone in here, okay? Because why? If you only share about nursing or doctor based on Shreya's major, then what if the HED they don't relate? Because that's you, but I'm studying engineering. Why I have to care about that? Say, so if I were Shreya, I'm gonna add in something like, but I feel like every degree right now is to getting a job, and we're gonna just getting busy in a 9 to 5 job, you know. And some people, if they want more money, they have to work in holiday or even extra hour weekend, you know. And then I just realized that the routine of life is just, you know, like have to working hard like that. But for me, I want to working smart. I didn't know where is the way that I can working smart until I met my mentor.
Mm.
You know, so it's easy for them to understand because they study in different major. You know, if you only share about your major, then they cannot relate because they gonna just walk away. They gonna just say good for you, and then they walk away. Right?
Mm.
No.
Please, please.
As every degree is getting a job, right? The purpose of getting the degree is getting a job. And don't you realize that a lot of people right now they're struggling in finance? So that's why they have to work in holiday or even extra hour in the weekend, you know? And that's make me realize why I have to go to school, getting a degree and getting a job. Just to making money, you know. But then I don't know how about you, but just my personally, I don't want to work 9 to 5 job for the rest of my life.
Mm.
You know, I realize that why I have to work hard like that until I'm 67, 65, 67. Say, I want to work smart. I want to make the money better way. That's why I got stuck in my life because I didn't know how. But I was very lucky to meet my mentor who retired when he was 24. Say, so right at the moment, after your moment you share the ugly fact based on your major, you have to add in some sentence for them to see that oh they in the same position, you know. So when that is the point that make the Masawa good. Say, and when you share, I realized that, and then I found my mentor. That's make they feel like oh so I should find someone too. Say, yeah. So just that point. Done. You want any? Okay, next person. Dula.
Let's go do Yo, Dr.
Look at screen.
PhD. Someone over here. Boom,
Boom, boom, boom.
and, all right. So we've been talking. All right.
Kedua.
Man, wow. I really relate with you so much, man, because like within like how I live within like my major, I did biomedical engineering. Like I was super excited about it. It's really like really it was really a cool major. I was really focused on it. It was like pretty much my goal. And then I started working in my last semester. I worked full time. And then when I worked full time, I was like going through it day by day. I was making money. I was actually generating a lot of income too. And I was really happy. But then like as like out of a flash, like just like the wind, I pretty much lost it. I lost it because they had a reduction. And I want to ask you, like, have you ever thought, even within your major, that like a layoff could also happen to you? Do you know anyone who else has been through like a layoff? Oh, there's been so many throughout like the time right now. It's even crazier. And while I'm fortunate enough, even though I got laid off, I wasn't really down in the dumps because I actually had a backup plan. Have you ever thought about a backup plan yourself? Answer. Then that's awesome that you considered a backup plan because right now I actually was able to start my own business. I was able to start my own business and it became a way for me to generate pretty much income on the side alongside with my active income. And so right now I just want to be able to know, like, have you ever considered mentorship? Do you know anyone that can teach you how to generate the wealth that you want? Oh, well, that's the same question I had for myself. I was looking for a way to be able to generate income. I was looking for a way to have a mentor. But then I was fortunate to find one. I went to a networking seminar. I was at SJSU. Then I was able to find an individual. His name is kind of say the name. It's like I say Jeff. His name was Jeff, and I was able to meet him. At the networking seminar, I was able to learn from him, be able to like see the financial like him getting close to financial independence, being able to obtain that. And then not even just from that, I was able to connect to his mentor. His mentor was able to go into financial freedom by the time we graduated. He started at 18. And then when he started at 18 and within his business was able to retire himself, he didn't just stop there. He retired his parents. And then he doesn't even stop there. Once he helped his family, he created an impact to help other people. So that's why right now I'm telling you this is because he's right now looking for a young talent. I like talking to you. He's basically trying to create an impact around the SJ area because that's where he was like pretty much learned and like went to school in. And so if you're interested, I could be able to take your number down and then see if you pretty much have the mindset to really be willing to learn from me. You asked a lot of questions, you seem really interested. And I would be really down to sit down with you and prepare you to be able to be my mentor if you qualify.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh,
Sometimes, guys. Did you use this script? Like, how's it working for you?
If a green light, we use really well. And then if not, I just go to the workshop. And then like if I get a friend, they yellow light.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's like say it's like talking about the mentor. But
Mm.
like just say, hey, I actually know this like a workshop that's happening. That this workshop is actually run by a team of entrepreneurs. That way you can be able to like kind of check your mindset to see if like you relate with any other entrepreneurships, any other successful business people, and it'll be a great way of you network. And you can learn to leverage that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then like my script like fluctuates depending on the person. This one was like just basic.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like this script maybe only work with people who like looking. They're already looking. Yeah, that's why you can mention about mentor and or if you want, we can sit down for me to prepare you to meet my mentor and stuff, right?
Mm.
But if there's a yellow light, then you gonna change to another script.
Wow.
Okay, to watch out. I see. Yeah, because if it's just a normal person, then I feel like it's a bit rushed, right? When you talk about mentor right away or booking appointment, but seem like you do ask them some question,
Yeah.
right, before you continue.
Yeah. But then
Okay, yeah,
during
that's
the
good.
Masaowa, I like kind of someone was available, but yeah, I want to see if they're
Mm,
thinking.
mm,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, then okay. I thought like if you go like the whole script like that without asking the person, and it seemed like you rushing them to the opportunity too fast. Yeah. Oh, so he still shared the basic thing, but the part that mental looking for potential people, you don't mention, right?
Oh, I do. Well, if they're like
If-
they answer the questions like
If they
yeah,
create
I'm
line.
looking for yeah, I did think about backup plan, and I'm like, okay, then talk about
Yeah,
my mentor's looking.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Um, yeah, and make sure that whenever you're done with your Masawa, try to ask about them. Like, hey, how about you? I'm not sure how you do it, but so far, you have to end it with, how about you? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about makeup plan? Have you ever met someone like a mentor? And then later after that, they're gonna answer you. You have to have the ability to keep going and give some more value for them before you qualify that person. Like at each share more what your mentor teaching you realize. So here's the thing, guy. In general, every Masawa gonna have some common point that everyone can share, said, which is realize how to make a money better. Not stick with the traditional way of making money and how life is tough right now. How much money you make, you just spend right away that month. It's not about saving money, but investing on some things. Or how you make a money during your sleep, so you don't have to work for the rest of your life. A lot of code like that you can add in, can help people realize a lot about life right now. Yeah.
So,
For me, I just want to add, like, you don't share much about your long-term goals, because for someone to want, you need to give people a reason why you build business. All you said was more like, I work full time, I can't stand it, but what if they're okay working full time? It's because you lack sharing your long-term goals as well. I don't, it's more like, I cannot see myself doing this when I want to buy a house, or it's not going to be enough, or if I want to live in San Jose, or I'm worried about the layoff, and it's always timed perfectly that when I just buy a house, people get laid off, things like that.
Yeah.
So you haven't shared enough about your future goals to explain why you felt it was necessary to do something on top of your job. Because again, we're not trying to replace people's jobs yet. Okay, we're trying to help people understand that doing a job is not enough. So don't put down working too much. Okay, there's nothing wrong with working. Okay, you might say you don't want to do it for the rest of your life, but it means you still need to do it. But why you feel like you need to do something for is because for me to achieve this goal in the next few years, I just haven't seen anyone else who's able to do it. And so that's why, when I saw my mentor or someone else who was able to achieve it, then that's what got my interest.
Yeah.
You just didn't share enough of where you're going. Maybe you did, but it was more like on the value side of things, not really about like
Realistic.
some realistic goals of maybe either traveling or peace of mind or pursuing your other passions or
Yeah.
family.
It's really missing that part when Dula realized that by himself, like my life is not enough if I just go to work with the biochem major or whatever, full time job. But then what you looking for at the end of the day, but the major is not provide for you, like not provide enough for you. Sure, you still get a job. I always tell them whenever I go networking is school is good. The degree is the first step of, getting to professional job, But then I should realize that at the end of the day, I don't just want the money, but I realize that I like a time with my family. But my post not gonna help me provide for myself about that, you know and that's why I was stuck in my life, because should I just follow the traditional way, or I do something new, or I do something else better for my future? I don't even know where is that. Like you should put some emotional on it as well. Yeah, and that's why that I got so stuck in life, man. I'm not sure, have you ever feel that way? Have you ever thought about that? But the moment I realized, I was like, dang, so job is not enough for me, because I want more. The job not provide for me that. And I was so lucky to meet my mentor. So, but you just share where you what do you want in the future, and why you feel stuck, because you just didn't find this opportunity yet, right? Yeah. So yeah, share more some long-term goal as well, guys. And it's like the vehicle and the direction, right? You should share both of that. Oh, my direction, I want to be here, but my vehicle right now is not gonna give me, lead me to where I want to be. Say so. The moment you share your vehicle have some problem right now, you have to share to the way that they can feel that even their vehicle right now is similar to you before. Like your plan right now is not going to work, your vehicle is not going to work. Do you want to do something more in life? If yes, then your vehicle right now suck. Right? Yeah. And sometimes people don't think long term until you share that. You share your long term. So you should have you should share your long term as well. Okay, next. Let's go. Maxwell.
Let's go.
So Kevin Wu.
Wow, Oscar winner.
Oscar night.
If you guys join me. Hello, gold chain. I want a life where I can party all the time. That was good. What?
Okay. Okay.
Good start.
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, no. I definitely understand exactly where you're coming from because that's exactly where I was at.
Wow.
After I graduated high school, I chose business. But what did that actually look like? I chose business because it fulfilled two things for me. It was made a lot of money, and I had a lot of options from it. But after going through college and living life through a little bit, I kind of realized one thing. No matter what I chose, it always leads to the same thing. I see my dad, I see my parents' friends, I see doctors, I see engineers. They all lead to the same place. They're always living an unfulfilled life. They go to work 9 to 5, they come back home, they're all tired. But yeah, that kind of made me realize like, is that the life that I have to live? Do I have to go through that every day? Do I have to live the life that they're living? Because they always look unhappy. They always look sad. You see rich people traveling everywhere, but that's not the life that I was going towards because I wasn't doing anything special. I wasn't smart. I wasn't special. So yeah, I found myself trying to look for a life that sucked less than like another life. I could choose business. I could choose engineering, but I found myself comparing them and seeing which one sucks the least out of all of these. Why was that? Why couldn't I choose a better life? What if there was something better for me? But the reason for that was because I didn't know what that actually looked like. There was no reference for me about what a better life could look like. Then it changed when I met someone. I went to a networking event and that's when I met someone who had the life that I wanted. I met a man who lived a life where he didn't really have to follow anyone else, where he didn't have to be constrained, where he doesn't look depressed all the time, where he could just travel and do whatever he wanted. He had the family, he had the life, he had the lifestyle that I wanted. He traveled whenever he wanted. He took care of his parents. The crazy thing about it is he came from Vietnam when he was 18 and retired himself 2 years later. He was able to do whatever he wanted after that, but you know what really made me respect him? The fact that he retired his mom 2 years after that. Where do you hear about that? No, I never thought about that. When I found out that was a possibility that I could do in my life, I wanted to know exactly what he did. I went up to him, I asked him, can I do it? How did you do it? And can you teach me? I'm really gonna do one something like that. But I'm distracting him. But that aside, like I had to really like ask him. I lost my train of thought. Come on, bro.
It's okay, don't mind her.
Rewind. Good question. You asked 3 questions. You're in Masaowa. You're in the moment.
Yeah, be
It didn't really matter, like it didn't really matter what was going on.
It's
Like,
really matters of.
no matter what, I had to have his lifestyle. I couldn't see anything else. If I lived anything else, would I ever be happy? Would I ever enjoy the life that I lived? You know what I find the definition of hell is? Living a life where you don't live to your fullest potential, where you don't live the life that you wanted, where you live something that everyone else lived. So that's kind of why I pursued him. I wanted mentorship from him. I'm learning under him. I'm currently in the process of working on my own business to build a side hustle. But I don't know. I want to live the best life that I can, but I wonder, like, have you ever thought about that? That's it.
Son.
I give you a few minutes to do it again. You go back,
You have another
another
chance.
person go up, and then you can go after them.
Do it again.
Do it faster. It's a bit slow. Okay. Let's go back. Yeah, I'm gonna check on you again, Max.
Let's go back.
Guys, I just want to say, I'm sorry, I'm saying the straight face is not okay.
Keep it up.
As long as you don't make like.
I get into my acting mode, you know, onion tears and everything.
Wow. Oh, okay, here we go. Santa Clara University. And she's a pain.
Okay, so we're deepening whatever, and I've asked them, why are you doing what you're doing? And they're saying, oh, because I want money, or because of this, because of that. Great.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, like I totally understand what you mean. I used to be just like you as well. Like I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, right? Like I'm a business major right now, but my parents wanted me to do like computer science or engineering. But the thing is, my dad is a civil engineer, and I've seen him work the same job for over 30 years, still hasn't retired, and just whenever he came home, he was so tired, didn't have the energy to spend time with me and my mom or whatever, and so it really like got me questioning, is that something that I want to do, you know? And it's like I love my parents, but at the same time, how can I listen to what they're telling me to major in when I see the way that they live, you know? Like, is that something that I really want for myself? And so I knew from a long time ago that I didn't want to work, you know, like a 9 to 5 job, at least not for as long as my dad did, because it just seems like, you know, the whole thing is for nothing. You know, we go to school and then we go to work, and then what? You know, like what's the end goal? And it really wasn't until my mentor that I met my mentor that I was able to understand that there actually is another way out. You know, like I've always knew that I wanted to be something big. I wanted to do something different, but it was just a matter of like what. You know what I mean? No one really teaches us any other way but the traditional way, you know? And so when I learned that, you know, he started his business when he was around like 18, 19, and it's like I'm 18, so it was very shocking to hear that he actually retired himself at the age of 22. And it got me thinking, can I really do that? You know what I mean? Like there are people that are out here, you know, retiring themselves, retiring their parents at such a young age. And it made me wonder, like, what am I doing with my life right now? Or what can I be doing differently as well? And so I, you know, asked him to take me under his wing, and kind of just to teach me what he's been doing. You know what I mean? Why is it that he was able to attain this level of success when majority of us haven't? You know, and yeah,
Keep going.
Yeah.
and you know, so it was through his mentorship that I was, you know, able to start my business on the side, you know. And obviously I'm still gonna have to go to work and work a corporate job, but it's just a matter of how long, you know. Will I be working it for 1 year after college like him, or will I be working in a corporate job for 30 years like my dad? And so I lost my train of thought, but you know, I wouldn't stumble like this. Have you ever thought about, you know, having a backup plan or whatever? Yeah.
Okay.
I would read the script and then I started going off script. So when I look back at the script, it like threw me off.
Didn't match.
It didn't matter.
So here's the thing. When you say you use your dad example, like work full time a lot and you don't want to live like him, right? I want you to add in something like, even myself, I experience working and then I feel how hard just to making up money. Because if you only share that you observe from your dad, then it's not enough credibility, you know. Like they not easy to trust whatever you say. But the good, if you want to give them a good story, it's only have to be come from your real experience, you know. So if I were you, I'm gonna add in that you observe your parents and you have your own experience in life already. You know, if whoever in here, if you're confident, You have never worked full-time job before, but it's okay to add in. I working full-time and part-time job already. I know how hard to making the money. If you say like that, they're not gonna like jump in and say, you have never worked full-time job before, how you know? You know? Yeah. Yeah, and in that part, and then another thing is like when you say you met your mentor and you want to follow him, the reason is not strong enough. You know, the reason is not strong enough for them to like, oh wow, like, oh, like why this girl want to pursuing something else, or even like something just outside of school. You know, so I'm gonna like, I compare my dad lifestyle with my mentor lifestyle. I see one person working until he retired, you know, working every week 40 or 60 hours per week, compared to the guys that very young, early 20, but he have a chance to retire himself, and even he retire his mom already. And I just realized that wow, so the difference is just the way of making money. Say, you know, I compare my parent lifestyle with my mental lifestyle. And I realized that, oh, I love my parents, but I don't want to live the life like them. If I easy to say yes with whatever they tell me, I'm gonna end up like their lifestyle. Then how can I help my parents then if I'm similar to them? Say, you add in that.
Yeah. One thing I'll say for some people, you can say, what is it? Some of you I heard you just say like this is not just Betty, okay? But some people have just said like, oh, so now I have a business, I'm fighting for my future or whatever. You know, if you say that, I think most of the time you're gonna get a good for you because you're just stating that you have a business. You should be kind of guiding them through their story, how you met your mentor, and through talking to my mentor, I asked, or something like I asked how you can have that kind of lifestyle, how can he create these kind of results, and he made me realize that the only way to do that is to have my own business. Or he shared with me that he was able to replace his job with a business that allowed him to create his own asset. Something along the way that I learned this from this mentor. It's not that I just started a business suddenly, but I asked him how he could have the lifestyle that he has right now, and he showed me that by building his business, he was able to replace his job with an asset that allowed him to walk away from corporate life. So it was through that interaction that I realized. And the hint is that sometimes the person you learn from is someone you've never met before, right? That's kind of what you're hinting towards. Like maybe through us talking, you're gonna realize something, right? And so you don't just say I have a business now. You say that because of my mentor helped me realize that in order to be financially free, I cannot just work a job. I have to have my own business. So don't just say like, oh, okay, because I talked to that guy, I have my own business.
Yeah, there was like no connection.
You're supposed, you need to share how you've guided. He has guided you towards developing or building your own business, and there's a mentorship program that kind of brings. Yeah, there's some hints. Anything else? No?
Yeah, I got like a little bit of feedback too. So for you, yeah.
Thank you.
So when I heard you, I know you said that you speak in like monotone, and so what I come to realize that at first like I also spoke monotone, but then I remember I think it was like Ali said that when you first meet someone, they're not gonna remember what you said, but they're gonna remember how you made them feel. And so what I try to do is, I mean, maybe you're not too good at like saying the right things, but how you say it is what truly matters. Like the body language, the facial expressions. Like, do you really mean what you say, and how you react? Like, my God, like you put some energy into it, And so I think that's that might help you. If you just put some more energy, bring out that conviction. I know you really love the business, right? You gotta show it. You gotta show it to them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like the part when you said, hey, he retired when he was 22. but you go by so fast that you don't give them space to actually show, to react to. Just like, yeah, you retired 22, then you have business now.
In real life, I actually do though. It's like awkward.
Like you have to
Like,
pause, like
like
in public speaking, you have to learn to purposely pause. At certain points, that it's like a main point. Like for example, and it's like, man, this was a shocking point that I realized about him. Can you believe this? He retired when he was 22. And you like stop and stare at them for a second. No, seriously, I have to do that. You have to.
the way that I would say like I sound like 22. I know that's what I said as well. They were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then Luke taught me this. He said, after you share that, no matter what they say after, you just be like, man, I had the same reaction.
Yeah.
That way you can continue the conversation.
Get gaslighted.
This is for everyone
To
too.
attract better, you have
Oh.
to become better. You cannot do the same thing and expect change. Transform your mindset. Upgrade your habit, think positive, be honest,
This is so great.
and
Very
consistent.
Come on. Okay. So I had a conversation.
Evolution is
I was once just like you. I was unsure, but worked my ass off to advance myself in law and physical therapy. I did. Wait, guys, you don't talk about the use of language. Be adults.
Oh, her mom's people.
Oh,
Her mom's people.
anyway, don't disrupt me. Okay.
Quiet.
I did physical therapy for 4 years and got a scholarship for law school. I was on top of the world. I didn't think I could ever get affected by anything. Guess what happened? That scholarship, gone. That physical therapy job, gone. That was during the pandemic when I was at the top of my grade. Everyone else always praised me. You're the best person. You're the number one student, whatever. So how you go? I didn't think I could ever be affected by anything. And so once I graduated, you guess what my first job was?
No.
It was a grocery store. Oh my God, it's that's the face. But honestly though, that was a big wake-up call for me. I don't know about you, about your experiences, what you've gone through, but I thought I was the best. And so I was never really looking for anything else until something bad happened to me. So if I can go back in time, back where I was going, I would be more open to more opportunities. I would just look for anything that came my way because I had no idea the pandemic was going to happen. That came out of nowhere. And here I am now. And so being the top of my grade, whatever, I didn't think I could do anything. But you know what's crazy about this? I'm not the only person who is doing really shitty, if you guess what I mean. There are other people out there right now who are top grades and working really bad jobs. I talked to a student the other day. He did law, 4 years, graduated with his bar account, and now he works for Home Depot. These are just crazy stories if you just talk to people. And so for me at that time, I felt like the world just wronged me. Why me? Why me? Why not that other guy? I was very negative. But I was still looking for something. I was skeptical. I had a good educational background. I looked into everything, but I went into a networking event. The networking event, that's where I got to meet my mentor. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, he's 28, has a house. And well, here I am renting an apartment. You see the difference? I'm 4 years younger than he is, but he is far more advanced than I am, where I am right now. So for me, I see that my mentor has a lot more than I do. And so whatever he's doing, I obviously need to do the same thing. If not, just copy. Right now, after working with him for a few years, I have a better plan now. I have 2 to 3 years, make 46K passively every year. So I'm better off than when I first started, when I graduated. Now, I'm more open, more ambitious than I was before. And now the pandemic is going to end, but there are going to be more downfalls on the line. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. You're pretty sharp. You have a pretty good education. I'm sure you're looking for other opportunities.
Don't mention your mental name and how much you make, how much potentially you make. You don't have to say that because if someone they don't understand, they're gonna compare that potential income to the master degree, and then they say, "Oh, that's so little," though, and then you put yourself in a hard situation that you have to deal with that. Okay. Yeah. Next person.
Go.
Let's go by.
Whoever just got fixed your story, fix it again. If we have time after we're done with everyone, you can redo it if you think.
Okay,
So
let's go by.
yeah, just a little bit about myself. So I just started, to go out networking this day like consistently, not like before.
Yes. Trời ơi,
I, no, I just want to share something that I'm still, fixing. So I'm not okay. Give you the context, and I'm going to say the content. Okay, so usually, I start story, and then it's my turn to share my story, right? So I grew up in very Asian, traditional, and typical background. Since I was young, my parents already set a clear expectation for me is that they wanted me to become a doctor or an engineer. So during my teenage year, I pretty much, lived day by day, didn't know what I like, and I just based on what my family wanted me to do. So I'm studying, even though I'm studying biology right now, get straight A during my first 2 years, but then I'm still frustrated with where I'm at right now. So during the pandemic, I know a lot of crazy things happened, right? I don't know what happened to you, but for me, there are a lot of things that happened that took place that completely changed my perspective on the definition of life. So I have an uncle of mine who's have been, a doctor right now. He's in the field for almost years, and he did have a good money though. But then at the end, he turned out to have no time for the family and even for himself. It he needed like during that time he needed to work like 60 hours a week. He'd rather to stay in the hospital rather than to build up his own family. He didn't have a good relationship with his wife and even his kid. But you know what happened at that time? Both of his parents were sick due to COVID. So between the decision going to work or staying at home to take care of both of his parents, do you know what decision he made at the end? Sadly, he chose to stay for work. Sadly, he chose to stay for work. Why? Like at the beginning, why he said that his main goal is to earn the money to buy his parents' life back, to have the financially freedom. But then at the moment he had the choice, he decided to say no to the people he loved, to stay for the job that make him exhaustedly, both physically and mentally. So at that time, I knew that I needed to change something. It wasn't clear what am I going to do, but one thing that I know for sure is that I don't want to become like him. I don't want to have the lifestyle is what I'm doing right now. So I realized that he's just too busy with making a lot, making good money, but then he forgot to make a life for himself and then to build up the better life for the family. Luckily, I met my mentor at the entrepreneurship workshop. He retired at the age 22, and after that 5 years, he retired. Yeah, have you ever heard some story that the people retire themselves, and after that they retire both of their parents? Isn't that crazy? For me, I was overwhelming at first, and then even though skeptical, but then I came to him directly and asked him, "What are you doing? I want to learn from you. I wanted the mindset. I wanted to have the lifestyle like you." Because from what I experienced, because I'm working full time and then I'm working part time as well, I experienced in the field, in the career field that I wanted to do. I realized that all of the thing I'm doing just makes no sense. I end up picking the vehicle instead of picking the destination first. So how about you? So he during that workshop, he asked me one question that stick out in my mind until now. If you don't work for your dream right now, somebody will hire you to work for their dream. So right now, besides studying biology, I'm building up my own business on the side. So how about you? What is one of the biggest dreams you wanted to obtain in the future? How about like what is the lifestyle you wanted to live in the next 5 to 10 years? How you give that a thought? That's it. Wow.
Good job, buddy.
But then,
I usually forgot and I need to take a look at the photo. When I go out networking, I forgot. So then I tend to skip the topic though.
Practice
I
again,
thought this
again,
is the
and
raw
again.
color.
Yeah, you have to practice until you remember this.
But then do you have any feedback?
But maybe you can
That's
share
good.
why it's good, so
Yeah.
other people can know why.
Yeah.
To like
try to get to your mental capture.
Yeah.
Again, your story is impressive, but Bill's story is more impressive.
Huh? What?
What?
Right, was you asked them,
Yeah.
there. And so I don't think like that was the full Masawa. I think it was just she included parts of sharing her story that she would have earlier in the conversation.
Yeah.
I liked it because there was that condensed question that said it's like the one that Phil shared is like the shocking quote, right? It's like, oh, they asked me one question. Do you just work so that you can make a living, or you're working to create a life? It's things like that that make them be like, wow, yeah, that's true. And then when you ask them back, like, what about you? What kind of dream do you want to create for yourself? It's something like that that I feel is very powerful. It makes me think like, dang, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I don't know how to get there.
If to make it short, if I were you, I'm gonna just share your uncle story, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna share my uncle story. I'm gonna just say, oh, I observed my uncle, his work at
He works.
whatsoever.
He works.
Yeah, and then I have to make a sentence like, I realize that he has some money, but he don't have much opportunity to make his own decision in life. Do you know that one day in the future, me and you gonna be in the same positions? Here's the thing: a lot of people are afraid to challenge people, so you don't include them to your story, to your Masawa. But to me, I just don't mind it because I'm talking to them, right? I don't mind just to maybe ask a question to including them in the story, in the conversation that I talk. I'm just saying that. Yeah, have you ever thought about one day me and you gonna be like that? I realized that few last year. So that's why that I was rushing myself to looking for a better opportunity. And I was lucky to make my mentor done. Yeah. Yeah, just making sure that the content is good.
Oh, guys, what a great thing. That's
Awesome. It's good. Okay, done. Good. Yeah, practice until you remember that.
Okay, come on, triple diamond. Look over here.
I came across my friend
Founder,
connection.
triple
She
diamond.
invited me to entrepreneurship workshop and listened to the couple by Phil and Yuna. Listen to the gentleman who is very
Usually,
successful.
I guess the setting is, I've done the deep
They
digging,
are
whatever,
just
icebreaker.
person.
Oh, that's so cool. And then usually most people I talk to, they're like, I ask them, oh yeah, like, what do you think you want to do in the future? Do you have a 5 to 10 year plan? Like, nah, man, I'm just gonna go out of college and then I'll figure it out, or something like that. And that's when I jump in. I'm like, oh, or ask them for the major. What major are you doing? And then they ask me, oh, yeah, what major are you doing? Like, man, honestly, I was just like you. I know you shared about being lost, and you know what? I mean, I'm doing CS right now, like computer science. But to be honest, I'm only doing it because of my parents, because I'm brown. Like my parents, they gave me they were like, "Beta, I give you all the choices in the world. You can do whatever you want, doctor or engineer." So I do accept and things like that. I give you whatever choices. You can become doctor or engineer. So I don't want to spend 12 years becoming a doctor, so I'm doing CS right now. But honestly, I'm much more passionate about my business on the side. You know what? I mean, I lost my train of thought. Where was I?
You need to be doctor or engineer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we were at the doctor or engineer. And I'm doing CS right now. And before coming into high school, I just had a plan of like, I go through college and I get a job and then, I figure out life as I go along, very much like you know what I'm saying? But actually something changed very recently. You know what happened? My mom got laid off from Google. You know? She's had 21 years of work experience. She's a senior technical program manager. She was a level 8 employee at Google. And just because of something like the pandemic, something like COVID-19, which we don't have control over, the economy, which we don't have control over, and now she's been laid off. And I've seen how much that's affected our family. Like, you know what? Before, we didn't really have to count our expenses and things like that, but now she keeps a budgeting sheet of every single dollar we spend. From the first time we've come into this country, my mom is tracking her money because of something that she couldn't control. And you know what I saw? I think that, I mean, people like us, I mean, think about how many people are doing our major, man. Like, you know, whatever major they share. I mean, like, think about how many people are doing our major just in this school. Look at 1,000 people. And how many schools are there? I mean, we're competing with people from Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, whatever, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but honestly, every car has a spare tire. I thought, why don't I need a spare income? So I had that feeling of being lost, but I was just looking for something, you know what I'm saying? Like a plan B, something on the side. Have you ever heard of like side hustles, like residual income, passive income? Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, that's what I was trying to create. And so I talked to a lot of my friends about it. And actually, one of my friends, he ended up inviting me to a networking event. And you know what I saw? I mean, I went into the networking event. And this is what I share usually. And I saw there were like a whole bunch of people. It's a crowd of 500 people. And they're all cheering for this young man on stage. And I was like, man, who is this guy? I've never seen this guy before. And I heard him talk. And he said he shared that he retired at 22. He graduated from SJSU. He was an international student. And he retired as parents at 25. And that's when I was shook. I was like, oh my God. This guy come out of college with a degree he didn't even need to use. And then for someone like me, I mean, for someone like you, I was like, dang, like how can I do what he did? Because honestly, I want to do that. I want to help out my parents. Because I've seen my mom, she's worked so hard. I mean, ever since we come to this country, you know, she works a 9 to 5, but really she works an 8 to 8. I think you can see that in your parents too. You know, they always work so hard and they're always working overtime, you know, past their hours. And I never really got to spend much time with her. And my mom has never asked me for anything. She hasn't asked me for money. She hasn't asked me for gold or anything like that. But she's always asking me, hey, man, can we have some dinner together? Hey, when are you going to be here next? When can we hang out next? You know, let's get some lunch together, whatever. And like, honestly, that's just what I want. I want that freedom of time for myself. And that's why right now I'm partnered with my mentor. I've qualified to partner with him because he's also partnered with 500 other people. He's helping all of them build their own business on the side. He's helping me build my own business on the side. And honestly, that's just what I'm excited about right now. And the one thing that I think because you shared that you were so lost, I just want to kind of ask you the question that my mentor asked me too. You know, he shared that for most people in life, we ask the question, what do you want to do? But my mentor asked me, how do you want to live? I want to ask you, have you ever thought about how you want to live? That's kind of what I ended off. No. I speed through it though. This is a little long. Wow. Feedback, please. Feedback. How can I improve?
Only one feedback for you, because the rest is so good.
Wow.
Right? Don't say that go into the room of 500, more than 500 people, and then the young man on the stage say, some people they're gonna misunderstand that's a pyramid scheme event. So don't mention that. Just say that I was lucky to, connect with my friend, my own friend, and then he or she was already a partner with my mentor already. And then he or she opened the opportunity business for me because when I just share with them that I was stuck in life, and then they just share with me whatever that good chance that they have to me too. And then I was open-minded, and that's why that I told him, like told my friend, can you ask for me a spot for my mentor? And then they told me that, and I looked into qualify his selection process for my mentor, and now I become his partner business. That's all. Yeah.
So like maybe I could say something like, oh, I connected with one of my mutual friends, and he's doing his business on the side, and he is a mentor. And that's when I was really interested. I was like, oh, okay, maybe this was something, maybe something I would check out. So I went and met with my something like that.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you, Stella.
Come on, you just need to do more because your Masaowa is good.
Kumar, just lazy.
But I see you go networking much.
And this guy was made me wait for an hour, bro. So small thing you guys can add if mostly you're talking to students is just share a bit more about the community and the people because that's what people are attracted to. Okay. Yeah, and they're not maybe not all of them are so serious about financial freedom yet. Yeah. You know, they care more about like being with people who are on the journey is with them. Okay.
Good. Well,
Let's go, Wayne.
Okay, so then
wait up.
you have to
What
first
is
eat
it?
ice cream, man.
One, two, three.
That's a flip.
Now everyone look at mine.
Oh, wait, chocolate, right?
Bang me. Bang
I'm
me,
like when I
bang
when I
me.
scam, I'm like,
Wow.
That's why they have a
ถ้าไปคนนั้นจะมีบริษัทมี
this is just okay. So the Masaowa is just like after me sharing my story, right? I'm just gonna go straight to the.
Masaowa is your story. Yeah. What do you mean by after sharing your story?
No, not the story. Like not that. No. After hearing their story.
Okay, good.
Um, wow, that's interesting. For some reason, I see myself in you, both the old van and the present van. In a sense that the old van, she was kind of lost in life. Not like lost. I knew I was gonna go to nursing school after college, but I didn't really know what I want after that. And I also see Van like right now in you in a way that I love working with people. I love connecting with them. I love making impacts. But here's the thing. I think me 2 years ago, if we met, we would not even have this conversation like this because, 2 years ago, I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't look at people in the eyes when I talked to them. Low self-image, zero self-confidence, so many insecurities. But for me, I think outside of moving to America, the most fortunate thing for me is being able to connect to my mentor and, got under his wing and led by his leadership. Because right now, I'm a full-time student, right? I have a part-time job in the lab research with a PhD candidate. But beside all of that, I'm also working in something way more exciting, which is my own business. And with all honesty, I would not be able to do that without my mentor and my coaches. And like I said, the reason why I chose this business was because of the money. Like from an immigrant background, that's everything that I wanted, money. But then I stayed because of the association, of the values we stand for. And so in here, we stand for family, we stand for hope, impact, and freedom. And it's kind of funny because I was just asking for direction, but somehow this turned into like a networking thing. But like I said, I really like see myself in you like in a lot of way. And I'm not sure like, if you're like looking for anything or if like my mentor or my coach is actually open for anything. But I think you have great, you know, personality for business. And yeah, if you are like interested and open-minded, you can like take my contact and I can get back to you if I hear anything from my coach and my mentor. No, because I actually skipped Phil's story in here. So that's kind of off. But like I would like normally tell Phil's story too.
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah.
Use your phone, maybe you can't remember.
No, I don't have a script. Just up my oh wow, that's very interesting because for some reason I see myself in you like both in the past and me today because in a way me before, I was kind of like, drifting through life. I knew I was gonna go to medical school after college, but I did not really know what I want to do after that. But then that really changed after I met my mentor, who, 10 years ago at my age, met his mentor and he started his business at 19 years old. And some crazy reason, he walked away from his job 2 years after. Yeah, same reaction, dude. But that only, it did not, I felt impressive, but then it did not like hook me up until I heard the part that he actually retired his mom at 24 and his dad at 25. And so for me, that was a no-brainer. I was not a business person. I was not, someone who thought that I could work with people, but because I guess coming from like an immigrant background, I was always taught to, focus on your goal. And so because of that, I just knew that, I didn't know what my mentor was doing or my mentor was caring about or like what business it was. But for me, I was like, you know what? I don't know what you do and I don't care what you do. As long as it's ethical, teach me because I want to have what you have. And so that's why I started the business. And so right now, besides school, part-time job, I'm also working on my, my own business. And the reason why I say I see myself today in you is also because, I love working with people. I love making impacts. And so when I see you, you have great people skill. You could listen, you could connect, you could understand people. I think that's something that I did not when I came in here because if you met me 2 years ago, we would not have this conversation. I could not talk to people. I could not look at people in the eyes when I talked to them. I had zero self-confidence, low self-image, a lot of problems and insecurities. But because of the mentorship, the book that I read and the audio I listened to, I was able to, learn these soft skills, these people skill. And I think along the way, what I really value in here is just not the money, because to be honest, I started because of money, but I stayed because of the association and the environment that we have. And so I'm not sure, but it just gives me the vibe that you have great potential for this. And I'm not sure if you're looking open-minded about opportunities, but I love to, there's nothing excites me more than connecting to like-minded people. And if you are open, I can always, be on the lookout for you. And if I see anything pops up from my coach or my mentor, I can always get back to you.
Wow.
Wow. Any feedback?
Did your script change that drastically?
Like, what do you mean drastically? Like, what do you mean, like, which part was drastic?
No, just the way you wrote your story. I'm just asking because.
No. I want to know which part do you think is like drastic, though?
There's no mentor in the story. Like it's whatever you share is here. It sounds good,
It's impossible,
but it's not like impossible. It's not like past, present, and future, and what happened in the past to lead you to being the people with the values. You cannot just share, oh, I stay the values here, but why stay at, and if you say, what is it? Yeah, it's just the way you share it's hard for everyone can understand. It's just very specific, few people can.
Like, I cannot do that like in 2 minutes. I can share more, but like not in 2 minutes.
That's a problem because you don't write it down. You don't write it down the main point that you want to touch on. It's like if you listen to other people's story, you're gonna see that they realize something in the past. It's lead to they want something better. That's why they make a mentor. And that's why they're doing something right now.
Okay, so my go-to story would be like me and my nursing path, and then like after I started college and like shadow nurses, I realized that's not for me. So that's my go-to. But then if I share that story and then the present and the future, it's gonna take longer than 2 minutes.
Why it's not for you? Why nursing not for you?
because like as I start to shadow nurses and talking to nursing students, I see how they work until 2 a.m. for the patients, or having to prioritize their patients over their parents. And I know that's not for me, like for another 45 years. But then if I share like the whole journey and then Phil's story, it's gonna be longer than 2 minutes.
Not so much about your whole story, but it's more about how could you connect their life to your business, Because if you just say like, oh, because I didn't like nursing, that's why I did business. That's why I want to do something extra. But that doesn't mean that's something that they want. So I know we're just practicing, so maybe there isn't a clear hot button, like some sort of problem they're trying to solve, but you want to pinpoint some of those main things. For example, it's security, or they want more time, or money, or family. These are usually like hot buttons for people. And so if you identify those, that's what you share about, like what is wrong exactly with nursing. If you just say like, oh, I just don't want to do what they do, then that's more of a career choice problem. Like, okay, then why don't you just switch into engineering instead?
Yeah, why don't you switch into a different major? Okay, but why business is different? And I didn't hear from the part you say earlier, the ugly fact of nursing.
So you need to make
Yeah,
clear
that's like skip that part like totally.
A lot of things you say is sound profound, but it's not reality. For them to check their reality.
you have to identify what problem you're solving by building a business. What problem can only a business solve? Just because you don't like your major or you don't like the career path as a nurse doesn't mean you have to do business. And so it's just not very clear when we hear it. Like everything kind of makes sense, but I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of someone else who's not thought about business, who's not looking for business either. Then they might be a little concerned, like, oh, that's like very nice of you to share with me, but not something that, oh, maybe I need to do as well. We haven't pointed out those points, like why they should also do what you do. Yeah. So Impossible Burger.
Wait, so you suggest adding the nursing, like the past story in, and like what the business
You don't
gives?
have to elaborate the entire story, but you could just share like when I shadow nurses, I realized that most of them don't have time with their family because they're working all night. At least that's something that makes sense. They don't have time with their kids. And so that's why, for me, I really want to have a family one day, and I just don't think that I can live like that. Because I want to spend time with my kids instead.
I'd rather you guys write it down. Long is fine. Because our job as a coach is to help you make it short. If you even skip that or cut that important part, then your Masaowa is not valuable. So writing it down and let the coach check for you is very important. Because a lot of things in your mind, like your mind is very creative. You can share a lot of idea, but again, you cannot visualize how to connect that, as the whole essay. You say like the essay have the first paragraph, the bottom, and the end, right? Then your Masawa should be like that. So the people they listen to you, they can visualize the whole movie in their mind. So Van say a lot of things good and profound, but it's hard for people to connect it. What is her message to them? So she gonna make a lot of people walk away and just say, oh, good for you. Say, yeah, so take time, writing it down. Your past, nothing, what you realize from nothing that you don't like that part anymore. And then you're stuck in life, you want something more. What is something more that you're talking about? Money or time or security, yeah, or pay back from family, just a lot of things that people want to use money for it. Even a lot of people that my story, I usually mention that, oh, I know that I'm gonna lack of money, I'm gonna lack of time, but money is important. If I have a lot of money, I can buy my life back as well, and I can help my parents buy their life back as well. Say, so it should have the message from your whole story. So why you don't like nursing? Why you choose nursing at first? Why you don't like anymore? Why you don't like that major anymore?
Can I have a question? So I feel like my full Masawa would include all of that, including like the past, why nursing, why I don't like nursing, and why I Joe's business, Phil's story and everything.
Mm.
But like I cannot just make it in 2 minutes. And that's my question too. Like, why does it have to be in 2 minutes when
I think
say-
you can.
say you if you like DTM with someone who like sitting down at a table, not walking, then it's possible to have your DTM in like 10, 15 minutes.
It's fine if your story is a little bit longer, as long as you can get the message across. You know, you need more than 2 minutes, it's okay. It's not something that you have to confine with a time constraint, but you know, as long as they understand the point.
Okay.
You know, so if you already think that you do prepare those things, it's all we're just pointing out is from what we heard today.
Right,
doesn't seem to
right.
match what we think. But
I
if your
could-
whole story does, address everything.
Yeah,
then
I see. Yeah, I see your point. It's just I could have a lot of things just to like match the time, and yeah, I went over time too.
You know, mostly why we suggest 1 or 2 minutes only because you're not gonna make everyone sit on a table and have time to talking with you. You're gonna just walk very fast and you have to drop the message in 1 minute. And you get the contact and when you book the mid-read, you can talk more. You say, so you're gonna meet a lot of people just walk through, through you like this. It's very rare that you're gonna see people just sit there, chill and listen to you. You say, so why we say maximum 2 minutes? Because even if you listen to BSM, the speaker gonna recommend a set. They just drop the message very fast. So if I don't think that you cannot and just you never try. You didn't write down your story yet, Again, our job is to help you make it short, but if you don't even have the long version, how we help you make it short?
I got some feedback. I think Justin wants to go up next. It is 10 o'clock. One sec. So I saw that in the middle you said like I joined the business for to create for money, but then I stayed for the association. I see like a lot of people. I saw it in Herman's DTM as well. They say join the business, and so if I was the one who was hearing, I'd be skeptical. Like what business do you join? You start a business, right? And then you met people who have their own business. Not like you stayed for the business, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, you won't stay back for like the association. Yeah.
Oh, and people. You're building. You were fan member. Anyway.
Memory of 3 times and things about that.
Yeah. Only people from Nora or someone, I hear that you say you working for mental. No, that's wrong. You partnering with mental. You're not working for, okay?
So just some terms, like you say you're partner with your mentor or you are selected for a partnership. You don't say you join, you become part of, but you were selected or you went through a selection process and you earned the opportunity. So you don't work for anyone, you don't join anyone, you are building your own business, but in partnership or your entrepreneurship, something that you earn. Okay.
Yes.
So it's like earning or selected or partner, those are the typical terms that we use. Okay, sit down.
We have wonderful.
This your next time.
Wonderful day. Right?
Bring up Justin. Go ahead, Justin. Raccoon business.
Where's my
Raccoon business. Let's go.
Rocket CD.
These were the homies, the raccoon.
Whoever finished your Masaowa, can you stay on one side? And whoever not finished, stay on one side. Now we know.
Where's the hiking?
Just are you ready?
Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, it's DTM.
The DTM in the raccoons in
Yeah,
the campus.
Just you mute.
Justin, you're muted, bro.
You mute. Huh?
Justin, I see your raccoon.
Justin, you mute. We don't hear anything.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Let's go, Justine.
Look, I'm at a fire. Wow, arson.
Beautiful.
Okay. Hello.
Stop helloing.
Oh man. Okay.
Let's go, Justin. Please share your Masaowa.
Man.
Okay, go ahead, Justin.
So I entered UC Riverside not really knowing what I wanted to do. So I got into data science because my parents told me told me how easy the work was and how much money they made. But man, I soon realized that computer science is not as easy as it sounds. Like I just spent 2 days working on just one program, trying to get that one bug. Oh, man, that sucked, bro. But yeah, I just kind of oh man, okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm getting nervous, man. Sorry. Okay. Can I restart? Sorry. Okay. Uh
You want me to the candidate? No, Katie's too old.
Yep. Usually there's some kind of setup, right? Like you want to get to know them first and talk to them. So you kind of respond to what they say, and then you drop it based on what they say. But
I'm the candidate, so I'm sitting here reading a book. So you
Justin, let's go.
share story. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of realized that computer science is not as easy as it sounds. Like all the people I talk to at my school are either going pre-med or CS major, and I looked at the news. There were a lot of tech layoffs that have been happening lately, and that scared me. I don't know about you, but that kind of scared me. So, if thousands of people are entering the CS market, engineer market every year, and people are getting laid off, imagine how do I kind of stand out from all these people, And what is job security? Because I know friends' mom who worked at Google got laid off after working there for 20 years, and that kind of scared me, like I mentioned. That's kind of how I realized I need a backup plan or some kind of side hustle that can really keep me afloat just in case something happens. So I kind of looked around, looked for different types of things I can do, businesses, ideas I can try out. I looked into real estate. I was managing a couple real estate myself for a little bit. I looked into stocks. I looked into drop shipping too. And out of everything, I saw their flaws. So that's when I kind of decided, hey, I should go probably networking, go to different networking events and meet different entrepreneurs and find what may work for some people. And that's how I kind of attend different networking events around the area to learn more about different types of businesses and how to create one for myself. And man, at one of these events, I walked into a huge little stadium. There was a guy standing at the front, talking in front of hundreds of people, professionals, people in their 30s, 40s, a couple students here and there, but a lot of these people are old people. And I talked to a couple of them, realized, hey, these people are software engineers, doctors, hold high positions in companies. And I was questioning, why are these people who are making 6-figure incomes paying attention to this guy on the stage? And what is this guy doing, And I just started listening to what the person on the stage was talking about, and started business at our age, around 19, and then retired within 3 years at 21. What the heck? Wait, 22. I can't do math. But yeah, 21, 22. What the heck? And then he retired his parents at 25? I don't know about you, but I want that. I kind of want to live that raccoon lifestyle and, travel around, do whatever I want, have the ability to do whatever I want, And so after the events, after he finished with his talk, I went up to him and I tried to talk to him. I asked him 3 questions. I was like, what did you do? Will it work for me? And will you be able to teach me it? And you know how he reacted? He laughed at me. He told me there's so many people who tell him the exact same thing, who wants what he's doing, who wants him to teach them about the business, but a lot of them don't really want to put in the efforts or to actually do it to prove to them that they really want it. And that's when he took me through a process just for me to show him that I truly wanted his mentorship, since he's mentoring a lot of different people. And that's how I met a coach, mentorship, and a large network of entrepreneurs that my mentor created. And that's how I started my business. I started doing what he did, and yeah, now my business is improving slowly but surely. Yeah, currently he is a very busy person, but if anything that I said kind of resonated with you and you're interested in creating something for yourself, I can try to pull a couple strings here and there and connect you with some people and maybe help you try to get you through the process that I went through to gain his mentorship, if you're interested in that, of course. But yeah, it's my talk.
Wow. Just then. Any feedback?
I too have feedback.
Oh, I don't think okay. Do not. Okay.
Stay on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned it in the chat, but I think one thing that they were saying was like the big event, that one might be like pretty, people might, associate that as like, oh, one of those like pyramid scheme events or whatever. And also like saying things like, oh, like, I get to work with a large network of people. I mean, actually that one is not that bad, but I feel like since people tend to assume the worst most of the time, just kind of being careful with how you word things. Yeah, and so like like you kind of talked a lot about like going to certain events or like working with certain people, which is like I got the idea though, like I really like the idea of like, you go to the event and there's like people who are making 6-figure income, but they still decide to be here. Like that kind of shares about like the values, despite it's like the valuing the time over the money aspect, which is great. To get, but you just gotta find another way to get your point across. Yeah, but it was good though.
Happy that too.
Thank you, Ben.
Wait, can you hear?
Yeah, speak.
So I think your story is good about like sharing your, your past, why you chose business, and like Phil's story is it's a little bit like, how do you say, what's the word? Like, yeah, monotone. Like you need more like emotions. I want to hear some passion. Exactly. No. It's like I know it's hard because it's just like him, like he's used to be like calm and like collected and everything, but then we want to hear your excitement, like we want to hear like why you chose business, like why Phil, like like because Phil's story is very like crazy and impressive, but you gotta make it impressive. The story itself is not impressive to people. So I guess it's just like add in emotions, and if you could like speak faster, then yeah, that's it.
Man, I'm too flag.
I feel like that shouldn't be your takeaway.
Yeah, I
feel
know.
like
Emotion. I need to express more with face, since kind of keep my face very stoic in a way. I'm just
Yeah.
messing around.
I think that'll take some time, but I feel like the best way to move onward would be like to if you to maybe write down your script because I felt like you didn't really know where it was going. Like maybe just a feeling I just got, but I feel like there wasn't like you had a script in mind or an idea you had. So maybe just go back to what you talked with Stella. Try to see if you can memorize it, but give it to your heart. Because I saw that you did work on it, but then when it came to this, it's kind of stumbling. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I believe you can do it. The best way to learn is to go out there, practice more, man. Let's do more Masawas. I think someone else wants to try, right? Hey, Justin, just very quick. When you're going out there, can you hear me, Justin? Okay.
Oh yeah.
When you're going, a lot of people they feel like they're not confident, when they talk to people, and I think from what what really helped me be a lot more confident is that, I know that I'm a future diamond. I'm gonna be a diamond club. And so if I know that my business is gonna go diamond, like it's whether they're gonna join me or not. Are they gonna join me in the momentum or are they not? It doesn't matter because I'm going diamond anyway. And so that gives me the confidence to talk to people like, hey, this you either join me or not, and I don't care. Yeah. Okay, so I think the way that I write on my script and then the way that I working is very different because usually I go with the flow and then trying to get to know of them and then trying to dig deep and share about myself. So this one is the more about like my whole entire Masawa and then the script that I've been writing down and been using it. So yeah, hello Luna.
Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Congratulations on breaking 1,000 TV. Yeah.
So, 1,000 PV.
1,000.
Yeah. 1,000 PV. To be honest, when I go 1,000, I realize I need a team. Bro, you are so amazing. Okay, please get started. Okay. So this is the way that I already share about what major am I. So I think exactly what you're thinking, right? But the one thing that's made me shocked the most that when I started going to my first year of my college, I was trying to look around, what kind of major, I should pick, right? But the thing is, like for Asian, my mom and dad, they keep giving the mindset that hey, no matter what job you do, you have to make a lot of money. You have to make like a secure income, something like that, right? If not, they're gonna just like holding a bamboo tree and then just hit you, right? Yeah, that's my mom, right? Because like the way that they think about the success is the way that how many money, how many number that in your bank account, right? But the thing is like I'm actually asking myself that I'm actually like that lifestyle with my mom and dad, right? I choose in computer science, but I choose in computer science because I have an uncle who also having a lot of money. He having nice car, nice house, and then I really like his watch Rolex so much in his table, right? Yeah, so that's why I get to computer science, right? But on the way for 2 years of getting that major, and then not just study, but also have an experience of working full time, part time, full time. I do a lot of stuff like restaurant and accounting and like doing some paperwork, and then uh, suddenly COVID actually hit. From that moment, I can able to just everyone just got locked down at home, and then you know. Uh, it's so weird. It's so weird to stand here.
Funny DMing mới. I'm standing here.
Yeah, but hey, continue, man.
I don't really talk.
Wow. So actually, COVID hit.
that is the moment I trying to reflect about myself because I think like other people they seem like COVID is something that very horrible, something that thousands of people laying up, and even my uncle who also got laid off. He actually worked for AT&T and then he goes to work home, right? A lot of money come from him, but he's still struggling with life. He's still struggling with money. But I'm wondering why is if why it's happened like that. Um, I can see his lifestyle, like even though he have a lot of money, but he actually all the time he always stay at home, facing the computer for day by day, not even being able to walk out from his workroom, right? There's one time that actually hit me the most. It's like his kid actually is a summer back then from Pennsylvania. His kid actually knocked his door, and then they said, "Hey Dad, today's a beautiful day. Can you able to walk me out from the park and then let walk out from the park?" And hey, but the thing is, I did think like, okay, so maybe we can go to a park, but no, he said no right away. Here. Okay.
Yeah.
He said no right away. He said, "Oh, again, kid, I have work. So tell other people to bring you to the park, right?" In that moment, I feel like, wait, hold on, right? So is that like similarly like me back then? Because I actually don't have time with my family for the entire my life. When I can look back, my mom, even though she also had a successful business, but does she have time for me? No. He actually can't help. Even though I understand the way that you have to make a lot of money for put a food in the table, but what's the point? You make a lot of money, but you don't have time for yourself. But I'm a family guys, so I don't want to live that lifestyle because I feel like when the moment I walk in the same like him, am I gonna have the same lifestyle like him? So that's why it make me struggling with picking my major and then thinking about my future again, right? Because I can see I cannot able to work like 9 to 5. Um, that's the reason why I'm looking for financial freedom, and I've been starting my own business at the job before, but it's not actually go very well because I have no coaching, I have no mentorship. So that's the moment I'm looking for networking. I keep going out there and then figure out how can I able to find my coach, how can I able to find more opportunity, can I able to save my future, save my mom and my dad, and can able to get back for the time, right? Luckily, I got introduced for my friend for the networking event. Have you ever heard about the entrepreneur workshop? Yeah, so that's how I get to my mentor story.
Where?
Alright. No. Like after the networking event, so that's the moment I make my mentor. Right there, he actually successful. When he turned 22.
We're not saying you didn't share it. We're saying that you not. You skipped over it, right?
Yeah, because because I don't have that ability to follow the script. I just want to go with the flow. It's like when I actually go with the script.
You can't. Oh, too long. Like you just described it.
Sometimes too natural and then they don't get your point. And then too straightforward and they're not interested. You just kind of need a little bit clear points that you want to point out.
Like when you shoot a story, your uncle don't go out with them, right? It's a bit long.
Like that one I would condense. Then I saw how my uncle couldn't spend much time with his kids. Even though he has a lot of money. So it's my problem. When I look at my script, yes, when I hold my phone like this, I cannot read. I know you cannot read, but shot like I just hang out and put in my pocket and I just go with the flow. So read that thing. More practice, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm more confident with sharing, my story when I go out there. Guys, everyone will have something they're confident at, but you have to pick something else eventually. Like someone who has a lot of points but very dry has to learn how to have better people skills. Someone who is more natural and energetic like Katie just needs to learn how to condense a few things. So you can't just say like, I'm very good at this, I want to do it that way. You have to see, does it really get you a result? So at the end of the day, if it works, then it works. I don't mind that. So from my experience so far, hearing that story, I kind of got lost in listening to your story, and I don't know what the purpose of it is. Like, is it just to share the story, and then my brain is just like, cool story, bro. Maybe it's too long. That's why you might want to just condense some of the story into just the main point. Like the reason why I was looking for more is because even though I saw my uncle was very rich, he didn't have much time to spend with kids. Something like that. But if you say like, oh, I have to put the leash on my baby and take him out to the walk, whatever park, very short. Then that's what you need to practice. You need to practice this first, and then once you have it memorized, then you can add in the kind of personality in. Okay.
Pull the pen on the file.
Let's try again. Hey, oh yeah, Max. Kitty, I got to go right for Luna. Wow. Yeah. Why Papa John? Only Papa John. Papa John? Papa John? No, he ate pizza before he did. All right. He made pizza. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm boy.
Let's go.
Hey, boy. This is Kevin Wayne. Slumdog Millionaire from Seoul.
So I share a little bit, and then I say, "Oh really? Oh really?" Okay.
Yo, what's up, Kevin?
Bing. What? 준비 slow.
됩니다. Okay, go.
Okay. Quiet, everybody. Okay, go ahead, Max. Listen.
Yeah.
준비 twitch.
Man, I understand exactly how you feel. I went through the same exact thing myself, to be honest. After graduating high school, I kind of was a little lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, you know what I did? I chose business as my major because it filled two things for me. One, it's very broad. I could do whatever I want with it. And two, it makes a good amount of money. But I don't know, after going through college a little bit, I was still a little lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but then I was a little lost. But in the end, like as I kept going through, I realized whether I chose business, engineering, nursing, doctor, it doesn't really matter. I saw my dad, I saw my dad's friends, I saw my friends' friends, I saw everybody. They all led to the same thing. No one really seemed happy with their lives. They always seemed tired. They always seemed depressed. Like I would see my dad come home from work every day, and he would just be tired. He would just go to sleep, watch TV. But it kind of made me think about like the life that I would have to live later down the line, because the way I was going, I was gonna live the same exact thing as him. I was gonna graduate college. I'm gonna get a job. I'm just gonna go to sleep. But enough. I'm gonna go to college. I'm just gonna do the same thing that they were doing. But
So Kevin, you in? Come on, let's go, Kevin Wayne.
But there's something missing from all that. I wanted something more, Like I found myself picking between different majors, different lifestyles, but what I ended up doing was I was looking for which one would be the least suckiest out of all of them. What would be the one that would be least crappy or like at least boring. That's what I found myself. Well, where would I make a lot of money, but be at least not as boring? Man, I lost my train of thought.
Okay, come on, let's go.
No, it's like there are times in real life I go out and I mess up, but you can't just stop talking and walk away. You have to keep.
Okay, I'm restarting. Okay.
Let's go. Fire up.
Memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you went through, man. I actually went through similar thing myself. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Like, it wasn't until last year where I finally found out what I wanted to do. I don't know. After graduating high school, I chose business as the major that I wanted to pursue because it filled two things for me. I was able to make a lot of money, but also I had a lot of options. I was very indecisive and didn't know what I wanted to do. Would I have to stick through one lifestyle? And it wasn't until I get distracted too easily. I don't know what to way.
Okay.
It wasn't until I went through college and kind of lived a little bit more where I realized I was living a life that
Max,
Look in the mirror.
okay. What's that?
Look in the mirror.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Can you blind?
Yeah, close your eyes. I say hang on. Just yeah. Guys.
yeah. No, as I went through college, I kind of saw the lives of the people around me, like people in engineering, doctors, business. My dad, they all kind of lived a similar lifestyle from what I noticed. They would go to work, they would come watch TV, they would go to sleep. All of them would have like a very similar lifestyle to one another. But then I would also see people on like YouTube or something like traveling everywhere, and I was like, "Why are they doing that? Are they living that kind of lifestyle?" I always wondered, and I kind of wanted that lifestyle, but I had no clue about how I wanted to achieve it. But by the way that I was living my life, I was going to college. I was gonna get a job right after, but I was not satisfied with that kind of lifestyle. I was not satisfied with the lifestyle that my dad lived. I'm not satisfied with the lifestyle that my friends were expecting to live after college. I wanted something a lot better. So I kind of had a quarter life crisis where I didn't know what I wanted to do after college because I was lost. But then I met someone. I met a man who had the life I wanted. He was traveling all over the world. He was able to have the time to spend time with his family. One of the things I met him, I met him at a networking. I met him at an event.
Let me see.
Yeah, I met him at a networking event where he shared a little bit more about his story. He came from Vietnam when he was around 18 years old, and he retired himself 2 years after that, being able to buy back his time, do whatever he wanted. The thing that made me respect him even more was 2 years after that, he was able to actually retire his mom and spend as much time with her. I feel like a lot of us, I feel like with that, when I heard his story, I realized I couldn't live any other lifestyle. There's nothing else that I wanted except for the one that he had because I want to be able to give back to my parents. I want to be able to travel around the world. I want to live a life where I could be free instead of having to work for someone else. When I heard his story, I went up to him and I kept asking like if it was possible for me, if I could do it, and if he could teach me. It took some time. It took a couple of months for me to eventually be able to work closely with him because he's working with so many more other people. But I had to actually work and earn his time. I had to work and earn his time, and through his mentorship, I was able to establish an asset for myself. And eventually, in 2 to 4 years, I aim to have the same lifestyle that he does. But what about you? Have you thought about anything similar?
I think my last one was a lot better. Wait, guys. I went networking with Max. So I heard your do you remember the guy like around the corner?
Yes. I really do. I didn't go that much in depth.
Yeah, but that one was like, it was really smooth, really. It was workshop script, but it was so good.
The workshop script?
Yeah, your IRL DTM, very good.
Thank you.
Just need numbers.
Very smooth.
I think the end part you can just make it short like I met my mentor and then I couldn't stop my my hungry to come and ask him how can I have the lifestyle like him, and then because of my open-minded he would love to open his selection process for me. I work hard to qualify that. Right now I'm become part of his business like partnership with him. That's all. Like you don't have to make it very profile or fancy. Yeah, just say that. And especially for your case, because you already you're in business, right? So if I were the one listen to you, I want to hear how you view the business before and how you view the business when you met your mentor. Say because the different between the business in school is different with the business in reality. Like this opportunity business, right? So you can just say something like you chose the business before not because of any deep reason, maybe just because of money, but every major can make money as well. And then you can share some more ugly fact, you know that the business is still potential in the Bay Area, but how can you make more than just get a degree in the business and work for somebody else? Because a lot of people in the business, they still broke, they still have the finance problem as well. Yeah, with the difference between the one that get the degree in business to work different than the one that have the degree and have their own business. One is still employee, one is business owner, say. And you can just share like I know that if I just get a degree in the business, I'm like the normal people out there, nothing different. I know that I can just make more than like the wealthy life. I didn't know what I want to head into. I got stuck in life, and that's why I opened my association more. I met most of people. I was lucky to meet my mentor right now. After hearing his story, I have a different point of view business look like. Yeah, that's why I started to have some thought about the passive income and have my own business. Yeah.
Can be something like I thought about building business. I wanted to study it, but I realized that they don't really prepare you for the real world. I wasn't really gaining the skills I wanted to learn in business. It was mostly just remembering something textbook or theory, things like that. So that's just what Stella was trying to say. Another thing is you guys don't always have to say that you went to a networking event. That something is a little more similar if you're just talking about a workshop. If you're doing a workshop, it's great. But you could also just share like, I became good friends with the guy named Channel or something, and he opened the doors for me to meet his mentor. Or I met someone who connected me to their mentor when I realized we had the same goals, and we can make it more personal instead of just saying I went to a networking event, just more options. And I remember hearing so much personal goal or something. It's a bit general. Like you haven't realized, because if you're too general, then they're gonna not have anything to relate to or
They're gonna good for you.
like anyone can say that they don't want to be like their parents or a job for the rest of their life, but like what exactly do you want to fix and what problems that solves? There's nothing wrong with their job, but I just want to have more time with my family. I want to have more money to give back to my parents. There are some goals that I want to achieve in the next few years, but I just feel like everyone that I know who graduates and started working can barely take care of themselves. And so when I met someone who just had the ability or the options to be able to pay it forward, that just really caught my attention because I just felt like it was something I couldn't achieve before. I thought it wasn't possible until I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fix it and do it again.
Okay.
Double it.
All right now.
Double it.
Okay.
Pass it on. Don't worry, pass it on. To Masao's.
Real quick.
One wing.
No.
And then I slid into the DM. Wow. And then I become a landlord. Kevin Wing. Stop. Stop, man. You're excited. Kevin Wing. You're excited. DiCaprio. I remember. I'm so excited. It's just a thing. Please share.
Masaowa. So I will say after the prospect, just gonna say, oh, I chose this major because I don't know what else to do, right? So after that, I'm gonna relate with them and share myself. So I'm like, wow, really? I mean, oh, it's exactly the same like you when I came here from to the US all the way from Vietnam 4 years ago. I was literally like you, bro. I mean, I was just focused on school, work, and
Nothing.
gosh, Justin, come on, man, focus. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I was exactly like, come on, guys. Okay,
Yep.
I was exactly like you, man. I didn't know what else to do. I just focus on school, go back to, I mean, go to work, and go back home and just repeat it like every day. It's same old. And I kind of like lost, so I didn't know what else to do. And then after that, I was, I was fortunate enough because I was invited by one of my coworker, in a mobile store, right? And then she invited me to one of her workshops that was held in my school back then, and it was like that. The keynote speaker back then was one of my the keynote speaker back then is actually my mentor right now. I mean, back then, you know what, I was really amazed by the way he was speaking in front of like 400 students in the auditorium. I mean, I was so amazed by the way he was speaking, and in front of a lot of people, and also his lifestyle. He kind of like he shared with me because I kind of relate with him because he was an international student. I wasn't really with him with that. And then his lifestyle was also something that I want to, because he was able to retire himself at the age of 21 years old. I mean, it's too young, right? I mean, he came here to the US when he was 19 years old. And then he came from a very humble background, very poor family, came here, study full time for major in finance and accounting, and also go to work at a far restaurant, 50 plus hours. I mean, it's crazy, right? The maximum hours that I used to work is 40 plus hours, but my mentor, he works for like 50 plus hours. And then in his spare time, he built his own business on the side as well. And then keep going about that. He also retired after like 2 or 3 years after that. He retired his parents at the age of 24, 25. And then he just also bought a house in a $1 million house in this Bay Area. I mean, that's also my goal as well, right? So I was like, this is my mentor. This guy has something that I want. But I was a little bit skeptical back then as well because you know what? It was very kind of like quick success, right? I mean, just only 2 years and he already retired himself at the age of 21. I mean, man, this guy, I mean, something I'm not really sure. So that's why at the end of the meeting, I came up to him and then I asked him, hey, so I usually say, I mentioned Phil's name. I say, hey, so his name is Phil, by the way. So, hey, Phil, I mean, I'm really amazed by the way you were speaking. I'm really amazed by your lifestyle right now. But I mean, as long as what you're doing right now is ethical, is moral, and it's legal. I mean, I'm down with everyone, with everything that you're gonna tell me. So I'm gonna follow you, okay? And then this is what he told me. I still remember until now. It said, "Hey Leo, I understand what you're looking for right now, but you know what? Yes, I'm working with millions of people right now, and the majority of them, they came to me and they asked me the same question that you're asking me right now, but they have the kind of like the microwave mentality. Do you know what it is?" And I'm like, micro mentality, what is that? And then he said, people who have the microwave mentality means that they want the quick success. They want what I want right now, but they don't want to put any effort in that. So that's why I was like, this is interesting. So he actually don't really kind of like the people who have. I mean, I wanna go back a little bit. So he said, so people have the micro mentality. So it's like they don't want to put effort to kind of like to get what I want right now. So that's why I usually offer them a selection process, a 7 to 8 step selection process. So then like, that's interesting. This kind of like not it is kind of like legit, right? I mean, he kind of like he don't just pick random people, but he does have the selection process to select people, right? Because you know like he's working with like millions of people. He only have 24 hours, man, in a day. So that's why do you agree with me that he also needs to be very selective, right? To find the right people to really invest his time on, and also to kind of like be to qualify that person to be his mentee. Do you agree with me? Right? So that's why, man, like the reason why he explained to me that the reason why he had that kind of like selection process because he want to build a trust between me and him because okay, let me ask you this. So if me and you we are walking on the street, right, and then I came to you and asked, hey, do you want to go watch movie with me? Would you go? No, right? No way. So that's why trust is a key. Trust is a very key thing in every aspect in life, right? So that's why my mentor, during the selection process, my mentor wants to build the trust between me and him. And also, this one is another key thing I want to touch on is that he wasn't looking any degree. He doesn't looking any specific, skill or talent at all. He was like, anyone this day will be able to find the degree, but not many of them had the right character or the right attitude that I want to work with. So that's why I mean, like, wow, this is kind of like very interesting, like kind of like project or the way that he select the people is to partner with, right? So he also looking for people who are accountable, who are humble and then hungry for knowledge and also appreciate with whatever they receive from other people. So that's why I really kind of like I was interested in this in what
Red flag. I'm like Simon Cowell. Stop. Do you have another song?
Just like both men, man.
Oh, for it. This is like Friday meeting. Friday host. BBS. BBS. Now we know you can host for Friday.
Yeah.
But,
Any feedback?
but just unorganized.
Unorganized. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, maybe you should just write down the point you want to share. And sometimes simple is still better. At least you can get your point that you're trying to develop your skill.
Yeah.
You meet someone, you go to workshop, you see something better, and you want to share it back. Not about too much and it's just confusing.
Yeah.
Promote the mentor.
The past I will share.
The past is just he cares, but who cares? Share the past. He will talk about he was born in Bushland or whatever. He was 7 years old. He go to the beach, and then at 12 years old, he go to middle school.
Wait, I thought I'd share about a little bit about I came here from Vietnam 4 years ago as an international student. I'm very lost. I just go to school,
But
go to
then
work.
the rest made me forget all the beginning.
Each day are better for me too. I will be with
International
them.
students, stuff,
I should
etc.
probably will be
But I mean,
too.
if you meet someone Vietnamese, that's fine. But I would suggest you kind of write down and condense your story a bit. Maybe focus on one point. Mostly you share is about like maybe how valuable your mentor is, but those make it clear like why they need a mentor. You know, so I think you just wanna add like why is it important to have a mentor, and then they'll ask, okay, if it's so important to have a mentor, then who should I look for? And then you can share a bit about your mentor. So maybe you focus a lot more on the who script, but you just have to give more reasons why mentorship is important. Okay.
Give people a reason why.
Yeah, otherwise they don't understand why you promote mentorship. They don't understand why you're promoting mentorship if you don't tell them why it's important. Like maybe you don't have the ability to see your blind spot, or you want to learn from someone else's mistake, not your own mistake. You want to save more time by learning from the ones who already have the success. You know, like have you ever met someone who is ahead in your career or in your life and has what you want, and they say, no, I mean, this is who I met, this is what helped me. And you can talk about your mentor. You know, so if you're gonna focus more on the who script, then it'll need to at least add in some reasons for them to listen to your mentor.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
I was gonna say, I noticed that you kind of like started setting up like expectations for what the partnership would look like. But that's assuming that they're interested in the partnership, you know, like initially you just want to share and then kind of see like, are you interested? But like what you talked about was kind of like what one would talk about like an MG1, it's like, okay, if you want to go through this opportunity, this is what you would do. And so it's like, you know, like talking about hash, that might not be something that you may do when you're ETF because they're probably gonna already just be like, wait, too much. Yeah, too much information at once. And a lot of it, it's like, or it's information that they may not have asked you. Yeah, they wouldn't understand either. And also like Justin kind of mentioned this in the chat, but this is a mistake that I used to make as well, where I used to say words like skeptical, you know, or I used to like, you know, I used to be skeptical at first, but it's like they might not even have been skeptical, but now that you said that you were skeptical, now they're thinking, wait, is there something that I should be worried about? And they're gonna start to question your credibility, your mentor's credibility, and then they might start connecting dots in their head and say, okay, this is that. And so just don't like give them a reason to think about skepticism or like the legitness of the business.
That's a good point.
It's
Because
simple for you. Too long, short, have a specific guideline we can talk about, how to fire your mentor, and what you want to do for fire your
the reason why I mentioned about I was skeptical back then because because some people they have the skepticism, so that's why I mentioned about that. I'm skeptical as well to relate with them, probably because I want to like reduce the skeptical level from other people, so that's why I want to mention that. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
What
I
if you're not skeptical to begin with?
Yeah.
You make them think they should be skeptical.
because like
sometimes you feel passionate, look at big people,
no, because it's like a lot of the times, well, because one, they don't even like if you like act, if you're like natural about it, they're not even gonna assume like, oh, okay, he's here to talk to me just for the purpose of bringing into business. They're gonna think, okay, he's just a guy who happens to mention his business. You know what I mean? And so like I get what you're saying, like some people may be skeptical, but I feel like a lot of the people in their minds would be like, maybe I'm ridiculous. That was me at first too. I was like, I am skeptical, but like at the end of the day, I'm not. There's like no legit reason for me to be skeptical. I haven't seen anything, so I wouldn't like bring it up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like think it. But if Jeff were to be like, you know, I was skeptical at first, then I would be like, wait, skeptical about what? You know what I mean? Because if they ask you like, why are you skeptical? Then what would you say? You know.
Okay, so kind of like after I did my Masaowa, I noticed that I just really do the edgy one
I know. Yeah.
because I usually sedate my edgy one.
Yeah. Job, my friend.
Okay. Did you write down your story?
Yeah, right now.
That's your story.
That's story I share when I do edgy one.
That's essay.
That's there. That is so good. say that you stop in life. What area that you stop in life. So for this is not a Masaowa. This is like more mental. And then she won or both can one. So give you another chance to go back and do it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What?
Charles.
Oh, yeah. I need one because my Canada goes. Hello. Or just not.
Hello. Okay, we're back. Everything's done. I want to share my revise. Okay, all right, already. Okay, you guys. I was once just like you.
Yeah. I did it 100.
I think I would do it because we're only going to put the.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not there. This is a baby.
Ben. Ben. Ben.
Is it van or Honda?
So what? It's not done.
Is it van or Honda?
Okay, Paris baguette.
Paris baguette.
Like
Why you didn't we not finished we didn't even finish the second round.
So bro.
and that's no head.
Smile, okay?
You know, no, I know exactly what you're going through, to be honest. I didn't know what I really wanted to do with my life, and I was just going around just doing whatever I could. But I think the biggest point for me was after high school when I started or when I graduated. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, so I just kind of chose business because it filled out two things for me. A, it made me a lot of money. It made me a lot of money, and B, I had a lot of options. I could do whatever I want.
We're playing music.
What's music? Why not?
That's right. That's right. But after going through college and living life a little bit, I realized one thing. It doesn't really matter what major I chose because when I see my dad, my friends, I see other people's lives, engineering, nursing, doctor. It all leads to the same thing. Like none of them really live a fulfilled life. They would go to work 9 to 5 and they just come back home all tired and they just want to go to sleep. But I don't know, after looking at everybody and seeing what their kind of lifestyle looked like, I realized that's something I don't want. I wanted something more. I wanted something where I could make my parents proud, where I could actually stand out, where I don't have to be just another worker who goes to an office job. I think about that sort of stuff. Like when I pass away, what are people going to remember me as? Who am I going to be? That idea of having an impact on other people and living the life that I want to. Living a life where I don't have any regrets. When I see and talk to other people, I see a lot of people who are lost with their lives. They live with no direction. They don't understand where they're going. I feel I sympathize with them because that's exactly where I was. But you know what really helped me, like, but then it all kind of changed at one point. Turning.
Let's go, Matt.
Keep going.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
Keep going.
I don't remember the feedback from earlier.
Come on, be back. Come on.
Yeah.
Ah,
How about we go down, we like take a deep breath and like we
Remember, you were referred by a friend, and so it's a networking.
Yeah.
I forgot to say I was connected to my mentor.
or what about you tell your true story, like someone needs a healing and whatever.
speak your truth.
Yeah. No, I literally heard someone do that in the meeting. She said reach out by someone on LinkedIn. Oh, Ryan.
Right, but I feel like you don't have to go into detail. This is like
Yeah, general.
Go general. Yeah, I'm just connected to my mentor.
What I'm just saying. Oh, okay. I just said to my yesterday. Yeah, that's what I said.
No, don't even say reach out. And that kind of.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
My connectors into my mentor.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. English 1B.
think
What was it? What is it that's like what are you having a hard time hearing? Like what part?
No,
I think I'm blanking out because I was trying to remember the feedback from earlier and I was trying to.
Incorporated the feedback into your script.
I know exactly like.
I added a little bit.
But don't
I added a little bit. I was gonna mention business.
read it. Okay, go ahead.
Go.
Let's go.
I forgot where I was at.
Turning point. Your turning point.
Oh. Then I was connected to a men.
Then I had a friend who connected
Okay.
to my mentor. Then I had my friend who connected me to
One more
my
time.
mentor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I go back to good job.
Good job, Matt.
Guys. I kind of want to keep going for whoever wants to, but it's getting a bit noisy. So either we quiet down in the kitchen in the back, or we can do tomorrow.
No. Oh wait. Tomorrow after. Wait, wait.
Then someone else can go. I mean, in the future, today is Costello and I are here, but you guys can always do it for each other. You know.
Okay, go on, Mark. Sit down. Be humble.
Okay, go ahead.
No, see, be humble. I'm becoming. I was just like you once. I wasn't sure, but worked my ass off to advance myself in law and physical therapy.
Just say butt. Work my butt up, you piece of poop.
All right, okay. I'll make the adjustment. Guys.
At least for us.
Okay. Adjustment made. I worked my butt off and to advance myself in law and physical therapy. I did PT, physical therapy, for 4 years, and I had a law scholarship to go to law school. And so I didn't really think I would be hurt by anything, really. I graduated towards the start of the pandemic, and at that time, I was laid off. My scholarship was gone. Man, that was a really downturn at that time. Losing a full ride scholarship through the law firm. If you guys don't know, it's a $68,000 fee. Man, I never felt so wrong in my life. At the time, my life was I just felt like it sucked. Life just took out everything off of me. I was wrong. My first job out of college, can you believe this? It was at a grocery store. top 10% student at a grocery store. Man, that was rock bottom for me. Luckily for me though, I was still looking for something. Although I lost my scholarship, although I lost like every kind of position I had at the time, I was still looking for something.
You should share why you had to work at the grocery store. Just say you went to the grocery store. Why did you ultimately have to do it?
Oh, okay. I had to work at a grocery store because it was accepting applications. At the time, I needed the money. I was paying for my debt. I had $20,000 in debt I had to pay off.
The monthly payments, and so you
Yeah.
couldn't find a job, so you had to just pick what's available, and fortunately, a grocery store accepted you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good attitude.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Sadly, I wasn't the top student at the end, and the day, I may have been at the top of my school, but in real life, I was beat up and unappreciated. That's how I felt. Luckily, I was still looking. I may have been skeptical, but I was looking for anything that came my way so I could take it. I met a mentor of mine who is 20 years old and at the time bought his own house. Here I am renting an apartment, 24 years old, arguably higher education, but I couldn't realize that education doesn't mean everything. It just meant that I just have a bigger debt than what he graduated with. That's all I really meant. And so I started to take my time. I never in my life had I joined any seminars when I was in school, any kind of events where I could learn how to make an asset for myself. It was always how to make yourself feel good, how to have higher self-belief. But it was never about what kind of life you want to live. I don't know about you, but I was just so open to learn about anything because I wanted to just advance my life where I was. You know, every class is spread higher, but why couldn't I have them? Let me ask you, what kind of dream do you have?
The dream. Totally dream. So I got my dream. No, that's awesome, man.
That was a sus wow.
Damn.
But the thing that he shared, why you think that the relationship is good. You want that was my try? My try? Go ahead, mine. Go ahead, mine. Mine's right there.
Let's go, let's go.
Here's attractive.
No, yes, sorry.
Other experience. So that's what it is.
Why do you
Big step. Bail. Let's go. Yes. Everybody. Up on this conference. Guys, this is the DTM that launched on. This hallelujah, hallelujah. Come on, and this DTM one Stella. And the leading
Hey. Move on.
Hey guys, come on.
To give some context, was in US Island. I fortunately went to Vietnam for a few years, because my dad decided to own a business over there and then came back. And so for me originally, I wanted to go into being an art teacher. However, realizing that, oh wait, they don't make that much money. Sorry, let me start over again. I'm so nervous. That's why. Wait. Let me start over.
Let's go, trời ơi. Let's
Amen. Why don't you stand next to her and then let's sit both of you instead of the whole crowd. Em put that top down, you can not do. They pretend you the top back rồi. Go. 1, 2, 3, go.
I mean, yeah, I was a similar position as you before. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do back then, you know. Like originally, I thought
We can hear.
you can hear. I wanted to become an art teacher, but I realized that one, they don't make money. Number two, they have to invest a lot of their money back into teaching students and everything like that. And while I do appreciate that, I like that. It was different. So for me, going through my life, you know, like I was born and raised here, but I went back to Japan for 3 years. Unfortunately, the reason why I went back is because my dad decided to start a business. Because 2 years prior, he actually got laid off in the 2008 recession. You know, you've heard of those recessions before, right? And no, you have to disagree.